Hi, it's Crystal Lynn Bell, and I want to do a reading for the year. So, this is our 2016 tarot reading using my spirit guides. So, just going to whip through every month of the year, one card per month, and this will give us an overall sense of what we can look for. And with my spirit guides, it's always about finding your center of self love and your center of power. So that's what you can kind of focus on as you're listening to these informations that are coming through. All right, so our first card for January of 2016. Okay, we've got the Prince of Swords. So, this energy is about going forward with the strength and dash of a young man. So, you picture a young, strong warrior riding riding his steed, and this is about having that masculine energy. It's about using your mind, it's about taking action, it's about having a strong sense of direction, and not so much allowing with this particular card. So, for the month of January, you want to make sure that you have some very strong and decisive action as you move forward into the new year. So, if you haven't set resolutions or intentions for 2016, you might want to start off by doing that, because the problem with the Prince of Swords is that he can be a little bit too rash, where he's all about his mind, and he can be a little bit overconfident. So I'm recommending that you set some intentions and kind of really get strong about what your desires are for the new year, and then you take some good action behind it, because you have the energy to do that, or we have the energy to do that. All right, so that's our first card for 2016, January 2016. Let's get now into February. And the first thing that's coming to my mind is romance, because it's Valentine's Day. So let's see what the cards say about February of this coming year. Okay, so we've got the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is about really going deep inside yourself and finding your own spiritual guidance from within. This is about deepening your experience and going really, really, really quiet, going deep within yourself, finding your internal wisdom, finding your internal guidance. It seems really powerful because February is kind of like the base of winter. Like after February 28th, we start moving into springtime and things start getting a little bit more robust and you start waking up. So this seems like a perfect card for me to actually have us going deeper into stillness, into silence. And also, I think this is really important for those of us who are natural priestesses, meaning we're very, very spiritual and we tend to hold space for other people. It's really important that we, during this coming year, we actually do a lot of work on ourselves. So sometimes we can be those priestesses that go out, or we go within and we always do for other people. We want to make sure that we go within and we do for ourselves as well. Remember, my spiritual guidance is about finding that place of self-love. It's a really great time when the High Priestess card is coming forth, so in the month of February, that we actually spend a lot of time doing things like shadow work and working with our inner child and doing the completion process, going within, doing our journaling, doing our morning pages, doing our meditation. This is really going to be important as we go into winter, which is that time when it is about being within. It's about hibernating. Maybe we put on a few pounds during the winter, but that's because we're being more still. So as we go into February, which is the end of this very sacred time of quiet and solitude, it's really important that we feel grounded and we remember that we have to nurture. We have to nurture ourselves and nurture the well within. Okay? So that is the month of February. And let's see, let's see what comes forth for us in the month of March. So we start getting into springtime and blossoming flowers and warmer weather. So the month of March, oh, this is excellent. So the month of March brings us the Chariot turned upside down. So the Chariot represents having two forces that seem like they're opposing. There's the dark force and the light force. And the charioteer has to hold these two forces together and keep them from running out of control, because the charioteer wants to move in the direction she wants to move, but she's got one thing pulling her one way and another thing pulling her the other way. The charioteer, when you get this card normally and it's right side up, it represents being really in control of these two forces. And so you can imagine that if you get the card upside down, it kind of represents the opposite. That's not exactly true. So when so it's not exactly true, because number one, you always have the option of um, coming into alignment with these two forces. It's as simple as understanding that these two forces are not actually going away from one another, but they're actually um, two sides of the same coin. That's one way to say it. So when we have the charioteer reversed, it's about having a very strong ego, but not being fully in alignment with what to do. It's almost like having some indecision. And so you're going to the right with the dark horse, and you're going to the left with the white horse. And you want to have your shadow energy, but you don't want your shadow energy. You want to deny the shadow energy, but you have the light energy. You want to be the light energy, and you want to deny the dark energy. So, during the month of March, our job is going to be to remember who we are and to remember that we are both the dark and the light, and that we want to integrate these two forces and not deny either one of them. The key is to not deny any of these forces so that we can be in full alignment with the power of the charioteer when she's in an upright position. So we want to make sure that we integrate in the month of March. So as we're coming out, and this is a very common experience that a lot of people have, as we shift from one season to the next, there can be a tendency to feel a little disjointed, a little lost, a little confused, particularly when we have a very deep experience in one thing and then we're moving to an extreme. So, for example, this particular winter, I'm finding myself being very, very, very grounded in my body, feeling very slow, taking my time, feeling very sensual. And I can imagine that when springtime comes, my natural idea, my natural, I also feel very feminine right now this winter. So I can imagine that when springtime comes, my usual thing that happens when springtime comes is I become very masculine. I become very active. I want to do things, do, 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 do. So it's that going from being still into going to being very active that can throw me off completely. It's like having that dark horse and that light horse, or having these two different polarities that can throw me into a real funk. It can make me feel really sad. It can mess up my energy. I get very confused. So the message for the month of March is to remember that there is a potential for this confusion, and to treat ourselves lovingly, and to nurture ourselves, and to be patient with ourselves, and to remember that we are the charioteer upright, and that as we're being tugged to go to these two extremes, that we remember to find our center. And the charioteer doesn't rule her horses with clenched fists. The charioteer actually rules from her heart space by breathing in and out and being very still from that place of her powerful center. All right, so that's our reading for March. So let's see what looks good for us in the month of April. What's coming forth for us in the month of April of 2016? This is a 9-year, by the way. 2016 is a 9-year. I'll talk more about that in a different video. So in April of 2016, there's this idea. We're in springtime. Come April, we're in full-fledged spring. Yeah? The equinox has happened. We are now into awakening. And the card that's coming forth is the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords is about having a really sharp mind that's going to cut through all the illusion and take us intellectually where we want to go. So as we're building up to the month of April, we want to really, again, get back in touch with our intention and our resolutions. We had the swords in January. Here we have swords again coming up in April. So already we have this kind of intellectual and masculine pursuit of excellence. That's coming through very strongly for me right now. We are pursuing excellence. We are moving forward toward the things that we desire. Remember, my work is about finding self-love. Self-love is about loving ourselves, but also understanding that we are beings that have desires and we want to have our desires satisfied. It's about finding the self-worth. It's about finding that self-love, but also allowing the physical world to deliver that love to us. So we feel the love inside and it gets mirrored in the outside world. So as we go into the month of April, we're now in springtime, and it's our opportunity to really start engaging the world from an intellectual point of view, where we're actually using our brains in a way. And of course, this is coming after the Chariot, where it's about having a strong ego. Of course, the challenge in March is to make sure that our ego is very strong and we're actually using it wisely, being cautious because we might get thrown off. Well, it seems that there's an opportunity for us to have that resolved so that when we go into April, we have a very good, strong mind. The Ace of Swords is it's the card of a very good mind that has a very good focus and it's going for it. So in April, if you had a lack of clarity in January, February, and March, April is a good time to start getting really clear and to start realigning yourself with the things that you desire. Okay, so that's our reading for April. Let's look at May and see what May is going to bring for us. May of 2016. Here we go. We've got Strength reversed. Now this is a powerful card. So Strength, when it is right side up, represents having a connection with yourself, a knowing of your own divinity and your own alignment with source energy, so that you feel protected all the time. It's not even that you feel protected, it's that you feel aligned, you feel strong, because you know that you are source having a human experience. You know it. There's nothing, it's unshakable. Well, when we get that card reversed, it means that we're going to be questioning that. We're going to be questioning. So in May, we want to be really careful with how we approach May, because we don't want to get caught up in the illusion. Just because we're experiencing fear doesn't mean that that there's actually something to be afraid of. And this is where we tend to go wrong as humans. When we have fear, we tend to think that that fear is real. Fine. We get to experience fear, but we have to understand that the fear is something that happens inside of us, and it's actually something that is meant to serve us. So in the month of May, we can expect to question our values, to question ourselves, to question the people around us, and that's okay. We get to do that, but we want to make sure that we always remember our tools, our meditation, our shadow work, our journaling, our morning pages, going to whatever your church is. Maybe it's listening to videos for people that inspire you. Maybe it's going to spiritual teachers. When that fear comes up, it's very important that we stand strong in the face of fear and we don't let it cut us down. When fear comes up, we want to go and talk to our inner children. We want to talk to our future selves. We want to talk to our higher selves, to our angels, our spirit guides. We want to talk to the devas. We want to talk to the elementals. We want to talk to anybody who's going to listen to us, by golly. We want to talk and get our fears out and not we don't want to deny them. We don't want to suppress them. We want to express our fears and we want to confront them. And then we want to move forward with them in the way that is best for us as individuals, right? Okay, so that's what's coming forth for us um, in May. All right, so we're up to June. So let's see what's coming forth for us in June. We're about to hit summer now in June. All right, let's see. Oh, June sounds lovely. So for June, it's the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups represents having a union of two hearts. It's his chalice and her chalice, or her chalice and her chalice, or his chalice and his chalice, or their chalice and their chalice. So a chalice is merely a cup, and it's having a full cup and coming forward and offering that to another. So this can be between people, as I've just kind of described, or it can be a meeting of hearts, or it can be a meeting of minds. The key, though, to the Two of Cups is understanding that there's passion and there's love, and it's about having something and wanting to offer it with sincerity. If it's not you, it's not just about you offering it, it's also about someone offering something to you. So it's about two energies coming together and coming into um, some kind of force of love or agreement. It's funny because um, in June, I think about Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury. And I like to think about Mercury as having little arrows of love that he's shooting. He shoots arrows of thought, and he can also shoot arrows of love. And I love Gemini, and I love Gemini women in particular. I love how sensual and beautiful they are. And so maybe in the month of June, this will be my first opportunity for you to maybe tune into your inner Gemini, tune into your inner sensuality. Marilyn Monroe is a Gemini. I just love her. She's so sexy and sweet. I just love her. Anyway, so tune into your inner Gemini. And Gemini is also about having a beautiful, beautiful mind. So tune into your own beautiful mind and infuse your heart and infuse your mind. Get those two together and then go out into the world and emerge, bringing forth something beautiful that you want to offer the world. And it's interesting that that follows the what was oh my gosh, I've forgotten. What was our card for May? Oh, our card for May was the reversed strength. So that one was about having that fear. It's really nice to think that we're going to actually resolve that fear in May, and that we're going to come forth in June with something new to offer. There's optimism here. All right, so now we are going to get into the month of July. So by the time July comes, we are in full summer. It is full-time summer. Woot! In the northern hemisphere. All right, okay, so, okay, this is interesting. So, really interesting because in June we have this beautiful coming together of things that are these two hearts. Well, in July we get the Eight of Wands reversed. So the Eight of Wands reversed basically means that something that wasn't real is going to come to an end. So let's see. This is interesting. I'm getting a lot of information about this. I'm going to check and see what the Mercury retrograde dates are. Mercury retrograde 2016. I want to know what those dates are because I, ah, ha, Mercury retro, okay, Mercury is retrograde in May. Am I reading that right? No, I'm not reading it right. Yes, Mercury is retrograde in May. And it goes direct in June. Okay, so coming back. In July, we have this idea of things ending. That which wasn't real, that which was built on shallow, false ground is going to collapse. So, and it's going to collapse quickly. So, in July, you got to be careful that you hold your shit together. When things start crumbling, you got to understand that that thing was meant to crumble. And it's probably going to come swift and it's probably going to catch you off guard, which is going to make you feel uneasy. Here again, we have those two polarities because in June you have this great sense of love and affection. And then in July, something is going to collapse. Now, it may not be that thing that was in June, but if you haven't been doing your homework and you are building relationships that are built on shallow, superficial stuff, that's got to collapse. The universe wants you to go deeper into your experience. It wants you going deeper into yourself. So if you're lying in any way, or you are not creating with a sense of depth and wholeness, then your structure's got to collapse. That's what you can expect in July. And remember, though, that it's important for us to let things die that want to die. You know, we have to make way for new. We have to let things that are not solid, that are not real. We have to make way for more depth and more reality, more realness. You know, so let it happen. So that was July. Now we're going to get into August when we're in the depths of summer. Vacation time for a lot of people. Let's see what happens for us in August. Okay, so in August, we are being asked, not even asked. In August, we are being forced to stop blaming. We have the Five of Swords. We are being forced to stop blaming. There's no more scapegoating. There's no more looking at other people and accusing them of not doing for you. This is about you taking full responsibility for yourself. So in August, It's going to be tough. This is going to be a tough summer because this is going to be a very confrontational summer, but it's about going within, and it's the battle within. Don't go blaming other people for the situation that you're in. This is amplified for us in August. Don't go accusing other people. Don't keep looking outside of yourself for answers to the the answers, the questions that are lying within. If you're having trouble manifesting, you can't blame your boss. You can't blame your coworkers. You can't blame your spouse. You can't blame your financial situation. You can't blame your education. You are a divine being having an experience here on earth, and you have been endowed with all the creative energy of the first creator. So in August, the energies are going to be about you stopping the blame and taking full responsibility for yourself. Now, this is a battle that's waged right here in your mind because the only real enemy is right here. So, what is it that you actually believe in? Those are the things that are going to be coming up to be questioned in the month of August of 2016. That's some very powerful shit right there, man. All right. We're going on to the next card, and this is going to be for September. So now we're ending the summer, and we're coming into autumn, and we're approaching the end of the Celtic year. And in September, we find ourselves returning to that sense of the full heart, full balance. We have the Ten of Cups, which represents home and family and abundance and grace and wishes fulfilled and just a really wonderful foundation. So in September, we can expect that our cups are going to be full, that we are going to have loads of a sense of belonging, a sense of community, a sense of completion within ourselves. We're going to be really wanting September because August and July are going to be kind of butt kickers, man. And September is going to see us feeling redeemed. All right, let's see. We are now going to get into October, which is the end of the Celtic New Year. And what's going to come forth for us in October of 2016? What's important for us to know? So in October of 2016, there is a feeling of being very connected to our physical body through the Queen of Pentacles. So we're very connected to our physical body. We're very connected to the material world. We might even sense that we're actually mastering the material world. Things are going well for us. September, October, we're starting to get our rhythm. We're starting to really feel the power of our connection to Mother Earth, which is a very sensual feeling, which is a very nurturing feeling. So I think this is a great month to launch things and to, depends on your astrological sign how you're going to go about launching, but I feel like this is a great time to really start getting into those things you want to bring into the physical world. Yeah, and as we go into the Celtic New Year, which is Samhain on November 1st, and I'm pulling November's card right now. Let's see what energy is going to come forth for us in November. So yeah, we find ourselves with the Eight of Swords reversed. Oh, that's good, because the Eight of Swords upright is like, oh, a prison of my mind. Eight of Swords reversed is about having being freed from that prison. So can you see that in October we have this kind of, well, actually in September we have this coming into the heart and this sense of community and starting to feel abundance. In October we have this abundance coming through in physical form with our dreams coming true and feeling connected to the earth and feeling like we're powerful enough to actually make things happen. And then in November, we find ourselves breaking free from the things, the chains that have bound us, breaking free from the limitations of our mind. And then in December, which is, December can be a really tough month for people. People struggle in December. There's so many things that come up for us. So in December 2016. Oh, that's interesting. So in December, we find ourselves coming back to this Prince of Cups. So we started off the year with the Prince of Swords, and now we're coming back to the Prince of Cups. So the Prince of Swords was about having this going forward with your mind and really being that warrior and using the sword of the mind to engage the world. Well, now we're going back into warrior form, warrior mode, and it's the Prince of Cups who goes forth with the Holy Grail, with that chalice as his guide. So there's a lot of the Prince of Cups is kind of hard because number one, it's about really being in pursuit of the pure heart, in pursuit of innocence, in pursuit of love, in pursuit of all matters of the heart. But all princes come with a dark side and a light side. They're kind of extremes. So this Prince of Cups is about really coming in touch with the heart, but he also can become infatuated. And sometimes the Prince of Cups needs help in getting grounded. So as we end 2016, we want to make sure that we have both of our feet on the ground and that we are going forth with understanding that the heart is the ruler, but we also need to bring that loving energy out of the mind space, right? Out of the mind space and into the physical body. So that Prince of Cups is about really wanting the heart, but sometimes he gets a little bit caught up in his mind, and sometimes he forgets his body. He can be a little bit too much about the heart. Like, he's like giving his heart to everybody, and everybody loves him, and he loves everybody. But man, when it comes to actually connecting and wanting to be in a relationship with the Prince of Cups, maybe not so good. Maybe if you're wanting a monogamous partner, maybe the Prince of Cups is not the one because, he wants to give his heart to everybody. All right. So, friends, that's our 2016 reading. It feels really good to me. I'm really optimistic about 2016. So, if you want to have a private reading with me for yourself, you can. Just email me, crystallynn@spiritcentric.com. Crystallynn is spelled CrystalLynn at spiritcentric.com. Spiritcentric is SpiritCentric.com. So you can email me. You can also call my business line at 310-439-8749. That's 310-849. No, that's not right. Shit. Sorry. 310-439-8749. 310-439-8749. Ah. All right, friends. So signing off, looking forward to spending some time with you in 2016. It's going to be a fucking powerful year, man. We going to rock this shit. Right on. Peace out.